Good evening, CoachingU4U. My name is Annette Lartigue, and I am grateful to be here with you this evening. I want to talk about trusting yourself. And again, I'd like to share my experience, strength, and hope. What doesn't apply, please let it fly. In trusting myself and learning to trust myself, last week I shared a little bit about having some difficulty in my teen years and then when I went away to college and then finding myself again and being rooted in the love and the opportunity and hope that my parents provided. That's important because um, working self-care and working on yourself and working on myself, it's an ongoing process. It doesn't end. Some people think you work through things and you work through situations and then they disappear. They don't. I'm on audio tonight for a reason. And so I appreciate that you took the time to come in and join us to hear what I have to share. So, in trusting myself, I learned to say no to people, places, and things that drained me. I learned that. I want to shout out every mother out there tonight who's working with children and caring for others. Keep up the good work. It's a tough job, and somebody's got to do it. And as parents, we chose the job. So hang in there and keep the faith. Every little thing's going to be all right. You will go through ups and downs in parenting, but it always comes back in a rainbow. Sooner or later, they get it. And so just hang in there until they do. And so, in trusting myself, I learned to say no to people, places, and things that drained me. And there were many people, places, and things that drained me. Um, Not making excuses or blaming others, but recognizing who I was and what I could tolerate and trusting myself was important. Because in trusting myself in difficult situations, I had to learn how to stick to my ethics and my moral standards. And as you're growing up, particularly in college, where a lot of things happen, and that's a podcast for another day. A lot of things happen in college. It's sometimes difficult because you're going against the grain and you're going against, what most people know and believe. But when you trust yourself, when my mother called me up and said, I believe in you, and I was afraid and I got my footing again, I'm telling you, that's the best thing that could have happened to me. Her telling me that she believed in me, it made the difference. In trusting myself, I can embrace my vulnerabilities, and I have some, as does everybody. But it helps me to be brave when I can embrace them because then I know what my comfort zone is and is not. I know what I'm comfortable with. I know what really matters to me. One of the biggest things to me is loyalty. I can tolerate a lot of things. A disloyal person is not one of them. And so I know what matters to me. I was successful pretty much in my career and over the years in my life because I trusted myself and I first saw myself as successful. I saw it. I could envision it. I believed in it. So much to the point that many of my mother and father instilled in me that I could sing when in fact I really can't. But I believed it. And so I sang. And today I still sing. And it irritates some of my family and friends, but they'll be all right. I believe I have the ability to sing. I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty amazing. And I trust in that. I trust myself and I value the opinions of others who have my best interest at heart and share in some of the things that I'm interested in. I trust that. And in trusting that, it helped to build my self confidence. And I'm telling you, what doesn't apply, let it fly. But this is a continuous process for me. Trusting myself, believing in myself, building my self confidence, and being trustworthy. I work at that. That matters to me. That's another biggie for me. Being trustworthy, not who you think or say I am. That's my reputation. My character is who I actually am and what I'm actually capable of. And I believe in that. I believe in me. I taught myself early how to stick to the things that I believed in, ethics and core values, because it was so important to me. And most people will say, well, that's not something I think about too often. Listen, I think about being trustworthy. I think about trusting myself. I think about, my ethics, my moral, my core values on a regular basis. And no, it's not deep, it's just reality. And there are times when there are reality gaps, and I have to fill those gaps. I have to fill those gaps in trusting myself, especially during difficult times, and recognizing when I need an extra dose of self care. My self care might not be the self care that works for you, but it works for me. And so I tell you all the time, your health and wellness is in self care. Take care of yourself first, and you'll be able to do a ton of other things. And I only know that because I do that. And self care is not selfish. I will say this from now until the end of time. Self care is not selfish, it's sanity. So trust yourself and take care of yourself. It matters. I'm not afraid to earn my lessons and learn. I give myself permission to identify my needs because I know what makes me feel good. No, silly, it's not always ice cream for those who know me, but the things that make me feel good internally, like a good night's sleep, not worrying about a knock on my door, not being concerned that someone will repeat something I said that wasn't cool. Those are the things I value, that I can sleep at night. I'm not worried about it because anything I say, I want to be able to say it publicly and to your face. And that is a biggie for me. It matters. The small steps that I take every day to ensure my self care routine works for me. No, I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty darn amazing. I've learned to close the reality gaps. I am not bulletproof. I feel, I hurt, I fall, and I fail, but I trust myself and I get back up every single time. I may be bloody and bruised, but I'm not going to stay down. I trust myself to get back up again. I just work to eliminate self doubt, and I work hard at it. And in sharing with you tonight, I want to tell you that there are times when I'm not always comfortable in situations, but I work to improve in those areas and eliminate the self doubt. Because I know as long as I'm doubting myself, if I'm doubting any area of my life, it's going to be a weakness for me. I cannot afford to sit in self doubt. I have to know how to fill the reality gaps. And let's talk about a reality gap really quick. After being widowed, and I share this too, I got involved in a relationship that not only was not good for me, but it was not based on anything I was ever really familiar with. And so as I went through that dream, ah, and that pain, I learned to close gaps when I'm in self doubt, when I'm not sure. One of the other things that trusting myself has taught me is how to trust my gut. In trusting myself, I learned how to trust my gut. And God knows it has saved me on many, many occasions. I learned how to trust my gut. And if I could tell you anything, people ask me often when I'm doing motivational speaking, which I absolutely enjoy, and they ask if I could tell people something in 3 words or less, what would I tell them? And I always say, trust your gut. Practice it until you get it right. Because every single time I failed to trust my gut, I failed and I fail. I failed and I fell. And so, in learning to trust my gut and coming to an understanding about, who I was, my reality gaps, and the self confidence that I needed to function just at the level of human was something I had to work on. We get involved in these little cliques, and I did for a while, coming up through my job. I got involved, and what I found out was if you're going to be your whole authentic self, people are not going to like that. People are not going to like when you say, no, I'm not doing that. Why aren't you doing it? Because I'm not comfortable with it. No, I'm not going to say that. And if you have something to say about them, you tell them. Telling me will not help you deal with the issue that you're complaining about relative to them. I learned that. I learned that I had to trust my gut, build my self confidence, and believe in myself on a regular basis. And you should know people won't always like that, but trust yourself, trust your gut, and believe in who you are anyway. If you are going to trust one person, make it you. Trust yourself first. Trust yourself first and always. And I promise you, from my experience, strength, and hope, that trusting yourself, believing in yourself, is going to create and sow so many seeds in you of positive affirmation that you will not believe the extent to which you are going to grow. You're going to grow and you're going to flow in a way that people won't understand. Grow and flow anyway. Do your thing. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. I've made a ton of mistakes, and some of them I learned so much from. I'm thinking about repeating a few. No, not really. But I have learned so much from some of the things that I've gone through. I've learned that the only acceptance I need first is me of me. So if you're going to trust somebody, start with yourself. Hey, thanks for joining us here tonight at Coaching You for You family. This is one of those times we want you to put all of our business in the streets and see us on Facebook at Coaching You for You, on YouTube at Coaching You for You at Annette Lartigue. Hey, hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Share us. We want people to know that we are here and we're talking about inspiration, experience, strength, and hope Inhale some of it and share it with people. You don't know. It's the smallest things that make the difference with people who just need somebody to reach out and lend a hand or a smile. We are here at Coaching You For You every Monday from 8:05 until 8:25. And we have something exciting coming up for you because Coaching You For You is about inspiration, but we're also bringing something else to the table soon. And we're going to talk about in a new podcast people, places, things, passion, fashion, and the office offenders. Not that you would have any, but in a new podcast, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to have guests to share their experience, strength, and hope with you about that. It's called Bring It to the Podcast. Again, I am Annette Lartigue. I am your host here at Coaching You For You. Put our business in the street. Tell everybody about us. I want to thank you again for joining us. I appreciate your time, energy, and effort. Thank you. Have a great evening. Good night.